Shalom. Time for another ground jewel practice. Today I've picked out the word circle. In Dutch it's cirkel. So I'll write down the variations. It would be as such. Cirkel. In English. In Dutch that would include an extra vav, okay? Cirkel. But it stays the same because this one I'll explain to you later. First the samech. Samech is cycles. So cycles values 60. 60 times 6 is 360, okay? We all know 360 degrees, right? Full circle. The yud can hint at various things here. Depends on where you look at it, because there's always more layers. I'll explain two different layers there. The rachis form, pointing at the round form of that circle, and kol is known to be the voice, right? In this case, in English, a deficient voice, without the vav. But it values with the vav 136, which is Ha Samael, and without the vav 131 in Kolel, and that is Samael. So this is Ha, and that the other is Samael. So, okay. So let's go further, because if we take the whole world, it values 400. Okay, 60 plus 10, 70, plus 200, 270, plus 100 is 370, plus 30 is 400. Now, when we draw a circle, such as I have here, then we take the measurement right in the center, right? This could be your yud, your point, your center point. It could be that heart spark, but it can also hint at something else, which I want to treat here. First of all, this 400 is also a circle, because we are used to the 360 degrees, right? But in a gradient gun system, which is used by engineers and people who do measurements, high measurements, they use the gradient gun circle system, and that is completely 400. And one could say that, like the Earth, for example, four corners of the Earth, then you would have in the Kabbalah, you would have north, east, south, and west. Okay, northeast, south, and west, for example. So now we have four corners. You get it, y-axis, x-axis, however you want to see it, but from that center point in equal distance is this circle formed around it. Okay, that's what makes a circle. So the 360 is the Babylonian system, and the 400 is just another system that came in the 1800s. But 400 is also the value of the hand of God. Okay, so now I want to, before we proceed, read a part of Likkutei Yirah 9 by Yirah H'ari, and namely the gate 6 on page 174. So gate 6, the restriction. Thus the endless restricted itself precisely in the center. It restricted its own presence, that there would be a vacancy in which the worlds, both upper and lower, could be brought forth. Thus the endless would both be a part of and separated from existence. This restriction was from all directions, creating depth and density. From this we can understand that on the largest and smallest scale everything is circular. Let us analyze the secret of this state. So the vacancy now created in which the worlds would be brought forth into existence, formed within the endless itself. As there was no boundary to the endless, it remained surrounding the vacancy. This is referred to in Kabbalah as tzimtzum or contraction. As the endless withdrew its presence, various degrees of density were formed by which space and light would begin its principle of expression. We can see this as light is differentiated by varying degrees of vibration. All vibrates. The endless restricted itself in contrite circles as mentioned in Eitz Chaim. And this, you can see it here. So really the first circle is the circle of Keter, right? That's the first restriction. And all the other circles are later representations thereof, concealing even more. So the first three circles, Keter, Chochmah, Bina. Beyond that, we are speaking of less Shefa, right, from the Rosh, from the Keter, Chochmah, Bina. And so that brings me to the next, because the following word, without the Yud, and Yud could represent, so two things, that center point, that thing you want to conceal from the outside, right? So that see it as an egg. Like an egg is built up of various circles, smaller, bigger circles, and it contains something in it. A circle is always to contain something, whether that's a round table to put a glass on, the circle, a tree. You cut to a tree, you see circular facets, but upon one each other, and through that tree there is Shefa of various things, right? So this is really how you can see it, but you can also say like from this very first and greatest precept of the circle, which is the tzimtzum, in which everything exists, you can say that at a certain point, the circular, it keeps the Yud out, and then it diminishes the radiance or the light or the Shefa of the Yud. So there's two ways you can interpret the spelling of circle. And we have another permutation here, because circle means dryness. So a dryness. So that's like a dryness from what? From Shefa? From Yud? Perhaps, because here there's no Yud to the circle. So the Shefa from Keter Chochmah, it doesn't reach certain circles. But that's just to show you how things can relate when you are speaking about a circle, because you have a round glass or something in the house, an artifact. That's a lower representation thereof, but you see how words work, right? So, and this 400 is interesting because it is Tav, the hand of God. And the endless created the tzimtzum to contain what could not bear to be outside, right? So a place where evil can exist. And we can call that call, the voice, Asamael. So this was circle. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you can hereby then see each and every video a little bit more about how you can go about. So combination of Gematria, of meanings, because this is cycles, spirit, form, skull, bindings, nail, and staff or vibration. Okay, and they have all ordinal values. There's many things possible which you can do. And by practicing the crown jewel and the meaning of each and every single letter, memorizing what it is. Look again, if we look at it like this, you see also connections, right? So we have the elemental letters connected to the 3 mother letters, which are 4 because the mem has a final version. These are the 4 elements: air, water, earth, fire. Now we'll see that the word we just had about circular, it is found in all 4 the elements, because these also, you can see a circle in this also, you know. This is just to show you a little bit how you can go around. So let's take the word, because the samech is connected to aleph, right? The yud and the lamed are connected to shin, and the resh is connected to the mem sofit, which is earth, and the kuf is connected to the mem, water. So see you in the next video. Many blessings. Shalom, salam.